20 most awkward positions people were in, according to Reddit. Number 20. An acquaintance of mine was crashing at my place for a night. We went out and he ends up bringing someone home. I crash. They're enjoying each other's company. Middle of the night, I hear the front door open and close. I figure she left to go home. Morning comes and the acquaintance is sleeping in. Noon rolls around and his door finally opens, and I hear him walking down the hallway toward where I am in the kitchen. I'm pouring a cup of coffee for him when a female voice says, "Hello." Turns out it was the acquaintance that left in the middle of the night, left the hungover bar girl in my house, and she and I had an awkward conversation while she drank a coffee, then left. Well, there you go. There you go. Hello to Lady Simca, to Gomi, to Kale Sky, and Obsidian Jacob in the stream chat. Here's hoping here's hoping you guys can hear me well. I should have used that Navage before I cracked into this list, but I didn't want to be late. I'm usually late. Coming in at number 20 because one of them has been deleted. When I was at college, I was in a group of 3 best friends. Let's call them Pete and Carl. We were super close, all 3 of us, but Pete and I lived together, and Carl lived with other friends. Why didn't he call them Lenny and Carl? I would have liked that better. Whatever. In our first year, both Pete and Carl had a serious-ish girlfriends. They seemed very happy. A couple of years later, they both broke up with their respective girlfriends. Then, not very long later, Pete secretly started hooking up with Carl's ex. Ugh. I obviously found out as we lived together and saw her around our place, but Carl didn't know and I had to lie and keep it from her. Keep it from her? Super awkward, and almost lost Carl because of it. Also, there was a lot of movie style sneaking around that, now looking back, was hilarious, but was very stressful at the time. As an example, Carl came over to hang out and I hadn't realized that Pete and the girl were in his room. So I let Carl in and then I hear them. So I offer Carl a drink, then proceed to purposely spill it on him. So he goes to my room and I run and tell Pete to sneak her out while Carl is drying off. It was a happy ending though, mostly happy ending. When it looked like it was getting serious, I convinced Pete to tell Carl and he did. And Carl gave them his blessing. 8 years later, Pete and the girl are married and just had a baby. But Pete and Carl stopped being friends not long after college. And they say it's because they moved away and drifted apart, but I know it's because of the girlfriend. I moved away from them and it's been nearly a decade and they're still 2 of my best friends. So they could have just stayed friends if they really wanted to. What a story. Oh my lordy. Here's hoping everybody's having an interesting evening. Hello to Black Power. Interesting name. Hello to Kid is Oddish. What? And of course to Stripes. The only person that can use that emoji. Other than me, of course. You already know I can use that emoji. But nobody should subscribe for that goal. You should just give the money straight to the Streamlabs, the link of which is below the video. I'm kidding. As we continue to number 19. Well, this one's lengthy. I was made redundant from a long-term job after a week or so feeling like utter garbage, I walked into the local recruitment office and told them that I'm starting a job tomorrow and I don't much care what it is for. Interesting. Made redundant is overseas way of saying that they got fired. We in America, we like the term getting fired, my dude. So, I started a cleaning job at a residential home the next morning. Another week passes and I get to know a few of the residents. I'm making No, some make bring tea to other. Oh, sorry. God, it's like my brain forgot the beginning of this sentence. Another week passes and I get to know a few of the residents. Some make tea. No, it just doesn't make sense. I was trying to make sense of it, but my brain is just, fucked reading it. Some bring tea to drink. As if bring tea is a thing. It's not. And others just talk as I'm sweeping the floors. Okay. One of the elderly ladies asked me to trap a wasp that's been bothering her all morning. I'm not sure I'm allowed in the homes, but I do it anyway, and she insists on paying me double or paying... Sorry. Thank you, default boy on YouTube. She insists on paying me a couple of pounds for my trouble. I obviously decline, but she asks that if I can use the money for a hot drink at the local church, as they have coffee in the morning, to raise funds for cancer research. I finish up, head to the church for a sit down, and drink. I'm not at all into the religious side of things, and I'm thinking of excuses in my head as to why I don't want to get into these types of conversations when a very pretty young lady with Down syndrome approaches me and starts chatting. What a situation. Damn. I'm liking this story. We spoke about the lady with the wasp and how her career was getting pretty bored of her chatting to strangers. And how her career was getting pretty bored of her chatting to strangers? Dude, does the person writing this have Down syndrome? What a confusion mess of a story. Confusion mess. Confusing mess. Jesus Christ. Now I'm being broken by the story. She must have spotted someone that she knew because she got up and left pretty quickly, and I lost sight of her in the crowd. I'm finishing up pretty good coffee when another lady asks awkwardly if she can sit on the bench. We say hi, and I'm about to ask her her name and story when she asks if I'd like to go for a drink later with her friend. Oh, what the fuck? I don't know, man. I'm fresh out of anything that resembles social interaction with pretty ladies. I lost my job and a family a few weeks ago, and I feel like a real loser. I say maybe another time, write her number, if a flyer, in a flyer I picked up for a box, fit class. A box fit class? What is that? This story is destroying me. Is that like it's like a fitness class where you do boxing? Fuck off. I didn't call the number and didn't think much of it until maybe a month later when I was in a local paper shop and the lady with Down syndrome taps me on the shoulder asking why I didn't call her and started making a scene. Uh-oh. She was with her carer. Her carer. Her carer, dude. Jesus Christ. Check yo shit. Fuck, you see how hard I try to just get through some of these stories and be professional and not burden the whole fucking list with bullshit? Her carer, okay? Well, I should have finished clearing my throat before I unmuted it. I didn't call the number and I didn't think too much of it until maybe a month later. I was in a local paper shop and the lady with Down syndrome taps me on the shoulder asking why I didn't call her and starts making a scene. She was with her carer, the lady who gave me her number, and she looked pretty mortified. I felt crappy after that. I tried to explain that I'm going through a breakup and trying to find a new accommodation, and I just started a new job and it wasn't because of anything other than that. The whole slow-moving queue at the queue seemed to find me guilty of something, even though girl B gave me girl A's number and didn't mention that it was hers. I can't retell this story in a way that makes me look good either. I just wasn't into going out formally for drinks at this point, and it's your choice, my dude. That's your choice. Any other time, sure, but life is what happens to you when... Wait, life is what happens to you and who you meet. What a fucking roller coaster. Oh my god. Number 8. I grew up not actively doing religious things, and I lived in the middle of an aggressively Mormon neighborhood. One day, when I was in the 3rd grade, I was invited to one of my super Mormon friends' houses for dinner. I went, and her mother asked me to say grace. Being a stupid 10-year-old with no idea how to say it, I didn't know how. I clasped my hands together and mumbled under my breath for 5 minutes. I probably would have gone long if the mom didn't stop me. I didn't have dinner with them again. Who lets a kid say grace for more than like 3 minutes? I think people who pray too damn long are the most obnoxious thing in the fucking world. What are y'all doing? It's Adasia in the stream chat, y'all. As we continue up this list of 20 most awkward positions that people were in, we arrive at number 16. My dad told his then girlfriend that he paid for my student loan and down payment of my house because she kept begging him for money and he needed to make it look like he had none. He also figured it would make him look good. Gave my daughter all the money to help her, kind of thing. The way I found out was he told her this when she called me screaming that I was selfish for taking all of my dad's money. He'll have nothing left for retirement, you selfish piece of shit child. If you were my daughter, I would disown you. Goodbye. My dad didn't defend me or anything, never said a word. What bothered me most, though, was the fact that my dad never, and I mean never, gave me a dime for anything my entire life. He had to lie to make himself look good, but never ever actually did anything to make himself look good. That's just who some people are. I'm horrified to hear it. That's pretty sad. Number 15. Sophomore year of university, some random dude starts talking to me in the student lounge. He's amusing enough, so we converse until I go to class. After I left, the dude started telling everyone we were going to hang out later, and he couldn't wait to take me to bed. I'm gonna take you to that Victoria's Secret place that I like. That's an old song. After I left, the dude started telling everybody that we were going to hang out later and that we couldn't wait to take me to bed. One of the people he told this to was a male, a toxic friend of mine who had major hang-ups about me not being interested in him romantically. Why you gotta put me in a friend zone, girl? Sounds like a nice guy. I had to deal with the fallout of toxic friends' hurt feelings, outrage, and anger because some stupid dude I never saw again decided to lie about me. What a fucking high school anecdote. Get the fuck out of here. Number 14. I was waiting in a school office to be interviewed for an art teaching position in a middle school 7 years ago. There was another art teacher who already worked at the school in the office, and she was trying to be friendly and make conversation with me. She pulls out her cell phone and asks me my name. I tell her, and she immediately logs into Facebook and finds my profile, which I left open to the public at the time. Immediately starts reading my profile out loud for everyone in the office to hear. What? What's wrong with people? What a bitch. Yo, what a bitch. What a bitch. Yo, first of all, Facebook ill, but second of all, what a bitch. Can you imagine? Can you imagine somebody just writing your name into their phone after y'all, this is like an acquaintance that you're just speaking to the first time, and she starts reading out things on your, what is wrong with you? How would I react in that scenario? Would I pull out my phone and start recording her? What is wrong with you? How do people lack social grace so hard? What's wrong with people? Ooh, that's cringeworthy. That's some good shit. You know, Kyle doesn't really pass out the good shit award on the lists often, but as awkward positions go, what the fuck? Wait a giggity goddamn minute. Hold on here. I wonder if I could have like bottled that cringe, you know what I'm talking about? As we continue, we arrive at number 13. During high school, a girl who was in my group for class asked me to publicly declare whether or not I hated her boyfriend at the time. The entire class heard it and felt like everyone was staring at me. Who cares? Number 12. I repeatedly saw the church sexton. What? That is not a term I'm familiar with, bitch. A person who looks after a church. This is some British shit right here. We don't use words like this out here. I repeatedly saw the church sexton stealing communion wine from the sacristy supply closet. Are these Catholic words? Sometimes drinking heavily on the job. Okay, Jesus. I didn't want him to lose his employment, but also knew that I had a responsibility to report it to the pastor before things got worse. Thankfully, the pastor listened to my request to deal kindly with the problem and decided to pardon the sexton, giving him help therapy sessions. He needed to overcome the stealing and getting intoxicated on the job. Oh, you're killing me. You're killing me here. Number 11. My old roommate offered a dude our couch to sleep on if he paid for the cab ride home. I got in the cab not knowing their little deal. We got home. She then staggers up the stairs completely shit-faced. I hear him pacing around downstairs and ask if she had made him a bed or something. What the fuck is he doing here? She tells me about their deal and I make her give him a pillow. Whatever. He sleeps. She ends up falling asleep on the couch opposite him. Right. It's the morning, and I wake up to her coming into my room to tell me he woke up and immediately whipped his dick out and started beating off. She tells him it's fine and to not come on the couch. She told him it was fine? Okay. She's obviously uncomfortable, hence why she came into my room to announce what had taken place downstairs. So I was assigned the job of telling the dude to get the fuck out of our house and that I don't generally take kindly to randoms coming over and coming all over our living room. She had pulled a bunch of shit in our time living together, and many a time I had to tell people to fuck off, including her. I'm just gonna roll the fuck up out of this situation. I'm just glad. All we can do is thank God that we do not have people like this in our lives, that we are forced to. Number 10. My English teacher took me out into the hall and started crying that I wasn't supportive enough for her. I'll never forget this one teacher that was crying. That shit was hilarious. Number 9. I went to school with a set of twin girls. The first one got pregnant super young. Then after her baby was born, her twin got pregnant. At the baby shower for the second twin, the twins' mom is saying something about both of them having learned their lesson and not having babies for a long time. Well, having any more babies. She noticed the look on the first twin's face and started freaking out. Twin 1 was pregnant again? The mom was standing between the guests and the door, yelling at her two teenage pregnant daughters. Awkward.
So your stupid ass got pregnant? Can't keep the dicks out of you. Fuck my teenage pussy, yeah.
Wait, don't I have a noise for that? Give me a second here. There it is. It's been a while. Oh, damn. Number 8. This chick asked me to be her boyfriend.
I want a baby.
While her mom was driving me home and we were in the back seat. It was really awkward when I said no. Whoa. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
My man.
You know, that's fucked up. All right, here we go. Number 7. The time my sister and her boyfriend moved back in with our parents, and one night he texted me from their bedroom that he was starting to have feelings for me. Oh my God. Number 6. Was getting drunk at work. When I turned around, my female coworker trapped me in the corner. She demanded to know why I don't look at her like the other guys. I know I'm older than you, but am I not pretty?
I know I'm older than you, but am I not pretty?
She's probably like older and haggish, so let me give it that old spin. I know I'm older than you, but am I not pretty? Luckily, another coworker saw us, and I just walked away laughing like she just told a joke. Oh my God, oh my God, help me. Oh my God. She's a married girl looking for trouble. Oh my God. Oh my God. Number 5. My mom sent me an invoice for raising me. Called her to see what was up. Says that if I don't pay the amount, she's gonna lose the house she's living in. Lamented that I was an expensive child and how she was owed this money. I hadn't spoken to her in 4 years prior to that. It was a real tough situation. Yeah, man. I'm so sick of this. You know you asked to be born. Number 4. I matched with this girl on a dating app recently. She was gorgeous. Really nice. Funny. All seemed well. We went on a few dates and finally she invites me back to her apartment. Thank you for that cheer, Jinx. I think someone cheered earlier and I didn't say thank you. Thank you for the cheer prelude and thank you for the cheer prelude. The double prelude. Hit him with that bing bong. Thank you again. As we continue. We went on a few dates and finally she invites me back to her apartment to spend the night. She told her roommate and told me that the roommate would be gone for most of the night because the roommate's fiance was in town visiting and they were going to the city to spend some time together now. We spend the night doing fun stuff and eventually go to sleep. I wake up in the middle of the night and I need to use the restroom. Walking to the bathroom, there is a dude on the couch playing Madden. I introduce myself and find out that it's the roommate's fiance. He couldn't sleep either, so he invited me for a quick game of Madden. We're playing a game and then his fiance comes out into the living room, obviously looking for him. The awkward position? The roommate is my ex that I dated for 4 years. And I just bitch slapped her man in Madden. Super awkward to explain to my date why I wasn't comfortable calming around anymore. Because you beat him in Madden? This shit just gets more and more confusing as we roll up the list. Number 3. I caught my sister cheating on her husband. Ugh. I introduced them to each other, and I had worked with him for a few years. We weren't really close at the time, but it sucked because he was a really good guy. Did you tell? She was having coffee with him at so she turned away immediately and tried to hide her face. I asked her about it and she later admitted it. I didn't do anything. She begged me not to tell him and they would be getting divorced soon. It took longer than I would have liked, 3 to 4 months, for her to tell him and start the divorce proceedings. Bitch, you should have told. Sloppy asshole. These dirty assholes covering from each other. God damn. Sloppy asshole, dirty hoe. Number 2. I was driving third wheeling with a buddy and his girlfriend, and the breakup after a heavy argument during dinner before the movie. Before the movie? I had to drive them to their own houses, and I dropped the girl off last and got a whole earful of what my buddy was like to her. Awkward. And she didn't even suck your dick. So you ain't got a man now, you gonna suck this dick? You complain while you sucking it.
You should have seen what he was like to me.
That's rude. Hey, yo, come on. Number 1, I'm about to go for supper with my mom's new boyfriend. She's 50. I didn't know my parents were divorced. Just get worse. Oh God! Let me try to read it. Let me try to read it as funny as it is in my head. I'm about to go to supper with my mom's new boyfriend. She's 50 years old. I didn't know my parents were divorced. Oh, God. I'm sorry. Oh, shit. Somebody said the scary thing is they might not be. That's not cool. Yo, what a world. What a world. That being said, guys, I didn't stream yesterday and you guys deserved that, and I apologize. You know, the way that I used to search for old Reddit lists, it's failed me. So I need some help. Need somebody to help me find old Reddit lists that are juicy as shit. Because what's on Reddit these days are terrible. What's popular today but's gonna be gone in 5 years? You know what I mean? Irrelevant. Irrelevant. What's the top thing here? Netflix, if they start putting ads in my binge session. Topical. If in case y'all didn't hear about that, Netflix is planning to throw ads into their you know, show binging. It's not like big time. I think it's just gonna be like a 30-second ad after probably 2 or 3 episodes or something. But you know, people been used to something and they don't like change. Oh boy. Somebody says I don't see this a lot, but big YouTubers like Rice Gum KSI, Logan and Jake Paul staying in 5 years. Why would they need to stay? I'm sure that they made enough money off of the cucks that are continuing to give them their views, you know? Some people give a shit about these weirdos. And that's fine. And that's fine. What would Pussy Galore's name have been if James Bond was gay? Y'all want to talk about how many people haven't even seen a James Bond movie these days, and the people that have sure as hell don't remember anybody past the you know, like, here's my point, is that most of the kids, you go stop somebody playing Fortnite right now and go, hey, you know, did you know, like, you could say today I learned that more than one person has played James Bond, and they'd be like, wow, I didn't know that. You know, because they're motherfuckers. What's the most interesting documentary you've seen? All these are terrible, you know what I mean? What was the scariest paranormal experience you've ever fucking had? What was the scariest fight? I want to talk about scare, god damn it. Should I even read this? I had a cousin who killed himself. I should read it like a jerk. I had a cousin who killed himself. For real. I had a cousin who killed himself. when I was very young. I didn't have any memories of him. His mother, my aunt, always had problems after his death. Drugs, alcohol. When I was in high school, I had a dream that there was a young man standing in my backyard, hysterically crying. He wouldn't come inside. He wouldn't tell me what was wrong. I was trying to calm him down. I was getting pretty frantic to try and calm him, but he wouldn't budge. I was awoken from my dream by the landline ringing at 3 in the morning. My aunt had overdosed and was dead. At the funeral for my aunt, there was a picture on display. It was of her and my cousin who had killed himself. I was creeped out because my cousin was the man hysterically crying in my dream. Like you'd never seen your cousin or some shit. Wouldn't that have been like relevant, pertinent information before this point? Like I don't think he mentioned that he hadn't seen his I had a cousin who killed himself. I was very young and I didn't have any memories of him. Okay. Alright, man. Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne. That's who was in the photo. Look, number 2. I woke up one morning to find all the cabinet doors in the kitchen open. All the drawers, the fridge, the back door, all open. All except one cabinet door. I slowly opened that cabinet to find a figurine of a black cat, but with the skull bashed in. The figurine was in my car the night before. The car was still locked. Nigga. I have an idea. Give me a second. This will be better. Let's see here. You know you love it, Stripes. I'm gonna start another channel and it's just gonna be shit like this. Oh my god. Oh my non-stop shit like this. You know what? The music must not be dank enough. Let me hit you with some more drink. You set the mood to turn all this shit off. Welcome to the Kyle Crypt. Tonight I have a story for you. Be sure to keep the lights on. I don't actually believe in anything paranormal, but I had an experience a few years ago. And to this day, it's still freaking me out. It's hard to explain if you haven't seen my house, but I'll give it a go. My kids are upstairs, asleep. My husband is in our room. On the other side of the house, and he's sleeping. I'm in the media room. I'm watching a movie on my TV. My husband and I are console gamers who often don't play split screen. So we have 2 large flat screen TVs mounted to the wall next to each other. They take up the entire wall. Mine's on the right. When you come into the media room, the TVs are on the wall to the left. I'm sitting with my back to the door, and the only door to the media room is off a motherfucker. You know, you ever, ooh, and I know that they're great for creepypastas or whatever, where it's just like 7 paragraphs of you describing the layout of your motherfucking room, but fuck you, I'm flipping off the air right now because it's like, my God, if you need to describe
Like, can you imagine me needing to describe to you the arrangement of what's going on in my room for a lackluster story where when you're done hearing or reading it, you go, okay. You know what I mean? My God. My God, dude, there's so much of it too. And naturally, any hack that's reading a creepypasta, he's eating this shit up because it just makes an irrelevant story even fucking longer. But you ever watch an episode of The Twilight Zone? And I always like to say, some of these episodes can be summarized in one fucking sentence, dude. One sentence summary for the Twilight Zone episodes. A dude gets on a plane, he looks out on the wing, a monster on the wing. When he calls people's attention, they don't see it. That's the whole episode, my dude. But you're just like, now you're going to want to picture the plane. On the plane, from where you're sitting, you can see the exterior of the wing. He can see the full wing from where he's sitting. But if somebody were walking by or even sitting right next to him, they look out and they can't see the wing because the wing is where this is all. But the way that the seats are sitting, it's like she's at an angle, but not at the angle that he's at. Now, if you were to get a glass of water and then put it right here on the tray that extends from the seat in front of them, then it's blocking the window. And it's like, bruh, shut the fuck up. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, let me try this again. I'm gonna try this again. Okay. I am going to, let me just scroll down. Just gonna find another one. As simple as that. Ping pong. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh wow, I shouldn't be scratching myself in a way where like, okay, here's a good one. My husband's mom died when he was 11. Yeah. One day we were at his grandma's house, and everyone had always told me stories of them seeing his mom around the house. But get this, they would see her after she died. I didn't believe it until this happened. We were downstairs and I was about to put head. No, you mean you were about to head. God damn it. You were about to head up to the bedroom to put my pajamas on. I see why he made the mistake though. I turned the corner out of the living room and I was at the bottom of the stairs when I saw someone walk past upstairs. She had long brown hair. The only other people at the house at this time were myself, my husband, and my grandmother. We had an infant daughter. I told them what I saw, and the grandma said, "Yeah, that's Lori." I didn't go upstairs for a few hours. I shit you not, that's the fucking story here. I'm dying. Bruh, that's the story. Ugh. I'm glad that this is over. I'm glad that I'm glad that I wouldn't like, yo, people are upvoting the shit out of these too. Yo, what is the excuse? One more. I was out on a farm when I was around 11. Wasn't the other one when they were 11 too? What the fuck? Everybody's 11? Now this farm was far away from any cities and was generally flat. There was nothing really planted, so the ground was flat except for a few mounds. The time was around 11 p.m. 11 p.m. And only light we could see was the house light, but beyond that you couldn't see anything. We were out on the porch playing with a rugby ball. So one of us kicked it in the dark, and we didn't expect to see it till day because no one wanted to walk in pitch dark to get it. But about a minute later, it comes flying at the house out of the darkness and hits the front door. This freaked us the hell out because all the adults were inside and all the workers were nowhere near, and I still don't know who threw it, bitch. I don't know. Who threw it, bro? Did I mention that I live on 11th Street? When I was 11 years old, it was 11 p.m. And I have 11 friends. My favorite number is 1111. And on a scale from 1 to 10, I rate it 11. Fuck this. Fuck this. Wait, he said it was posted 11 hours ago? Yo, that's... Fuck off with this. You look. What? What? Oh, look behind you now, guys. It's getting real spooky in here. It's getting real spooky in here. Look, ma'am. I need to go. This is, Yo. Should do another one. Hold on. One more. Okay. I'm gonna start over. The whole 4 years we lived in one particular house, I just always felt like there was something not right. I was between 12 and 16 years old while we were living there. In the back end of the house was my parents' office. The computer desks ran around the edge of the room in a big horseshoe shape. And the entrance to the office was also the wall for the back sliding door. Often I would be up late on Mom's computer. I swear that I could feel someone standing over the entrance to the room. And in the dark screen reflection of my dad's computer, I could see a tall shadow. At first, we could pass it off as a pot plant. As the pot plant. Damn, I didn't know your house was cool, motherfucker. You know, give me some dab. But it was too tall. And it always looked hunched over. One night, my friend stayed over, and we slept in the upstairs lounge room. This room was a big open landing, and you could see every bedroom and the open bathroom from where we were sleeping. The street light would shine into the bathroom, and my friend whispered to me, "What tall thing do you have in the bathroom?" And we could both see that some tall, hunched figure. So we moved into my bedroom and never spoke of it again. On another night, my brother and friends stay over. We are all upstairs in the lounge room. Upstairs, the floor was pretty creaky. You could usually track people's footsteps across the landing to the top step, where we could hear the floorboards start to creak, as it sounded like someone was walking out of a bedroom and walking towards the top step. Even though we were downstairs, what the F? Bro, what the F? In the summer, I had some friends stay over and we slept outside on the trampoline. The wall next to the back sliding door was all glass windows as well, so you could see the kitchen, dining. Again, the street lights that light up the bathroom would light up. Or at least a part of the room as well. All four of us noticed it at the same time. The tall, hunched figure in the dining room. We stayed out on the trampoline all night because we were too scared to go back inside. This is the one that gives me goosebumps, and when I tell you, it'll make you feel physically ill. It'll make you physically ill. Our front lounge room was quite long and shaped almost like a T. The open section was closed to the front door, then it became long and narrow, you see, so when we had the TV at the skinny end, with two lounges lining the walls opposite each other. You see, my dad... Oh wait, it's over. We'll start over. My dad quite often slept on the lounge because he has tinnitus. Now that's how you get tinnitus. And generally doesn't sleep much. So for this particular instance, he had the lounges in a T shape for whatever reason.
I had woken up super early to watch the World Cup, Australia versus Italy, and the message my friend who had seen the thing in the bathroom as she was going to New Zealand with the school band. As I'm lying with my head towards the middle of the two lounges meeting, I see out of the corner of my eye, as clear as day, a girl in a white dress with brunette, braided hair just sitting on the lounge. I only saw her for a second, and as soon as I turned to look at her, she was gone again. I flew up, turned all the lights on, was frantically messaging my friend who was about to abandon me on a plane, you see, just quietly ran around downstairs like a lunatic for about a good 15 minutes. Until I decided that going back upstairs to bed was a good idea. I've never preached that ghost spirits or whatever is real, but those instances left me with this cold feeling of dread every fucking time, and over 10 years later, I still can't explain them. But 10 isn't the magic number, man. You gotta wait till 11, bitch. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, I don't know what this was, but rest assured it's never gonna happen again. Maybe it happens again. But I'm doing the money thing. I'm doing the money thing with my hands. Somebody's, you know what I'm talking about? Someone should hit me with like news. You guys should help keep my ear to the ground here. Let's see what's going on Reddit. People with their dogs. Harrison Ford. I went into the attic. Interesting. Right. So guys, love you. Wait. Sexually fantasizing about one's partner inhibits relationship damaging behaviors? Okay. I'll remember that. Guys, love yourselves. Stripe says, promise me tea. What does that mean? Guys, I'm going to upload this to YouTube. I don't know. Help me find something to do later. Love you. Stay safe. And love each other. Bye.